Hey there, welcome back to Reddit Dating, the best channel for Reddit cheating stories. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more stories like these. Now, let's get into the video.
Second time. Me, 38-year-old male, 3 children ages 15, 13, 6, first marriage of 18 years, betrayed by spouse once previously, almost 3 years ago, fully recovered, at least I was. Here we go. I went on deployment 4 years ago. I came back. My spouse's heart had been into confusion by a mentally handicapped addict on welfare, most painful thing ever. I did all the work in renewing things. We bonded hysterically for 7 to 8 months. It was nice. I sought counseling, enrolled in a master's program, started a new career, hit the gym, and got a nice rental in a good part of town where the kids were safe and challenged by stringent academic programs. My wife. She's back in school and learning to sculpt metals. She seemed happy and is growing in ways that I absolutely adore. Meanwhile, however, the bedroom fizzled out again. I mistakenly believed that this was the result of her IUD and low libido, which I am now accepting of. Talk about your bias. Turns out that she rekindled the affections of Mr. Welfare last summer. It also turns out that this time I have contracted chlamydia. Diagnosis and treatment came 3 weeks ago. Exposure was last summer during their tryst. The twist: I worked on myself. I assumed that I should issue myself a secret hall pass and see if I still have some game, and I do. I've had a couple of lovers this past year who are, well, enthusiastic. We get our tests and we use protection. So, the STI was something that I got treated and quietly meditated on. Where did this STI come from? This morning's discovery came from Mr. Welfare's new fiancée. She was likely fed up with my wayward spouse's pursuit of her man. So there is the twist. I've found lovers. She went back to the old one. It almost sounds like we suck at marriage, except we really don't. Kids are well adjusted, and my wife and I still seek the affection from each other primarily. There's just 18 years of life mixed up in there and a failure to change and grow along with each other. I still make her laugh on a daily basis. I've accepted that I no longer receive the benefit of her libidinous urges, which are alive and well after all. If your reply to that assertion is that I don't deserve them, then you may dispense with the morality. My ears are deaf to judgment from anyone who hasn't walked a mile in my shoes. So, although I knew that we needed to rekindle our passion, I was hoping for my upcoming vasectomy and her IUD removal to be the spark. Here's where we currently sit. I've stated that I am committed to our marriage and I'm not calling it quits. I've also stated that I'm not staying in it for the children. She has to commit also. Otherwise, I'm not really willing to rebuild with this person again. Why can't we both have our side lovers? I offered to clear a path for her to be out in the open with her mentally handicapped boyfriend. She has my compliance. I guess that little mustard seed of control is still too much. It seems that Mr. Welfare has someone with a place of their own now, and he wants nothing to do with my spouse anymore. Why she has no idea about my lover? Duh. Rationalize the answer for yourself or leave the topic alone. I've boosted my appeal. I've invested in my earnings potential, and I've kept my temple pleasant for those who are starved for intimacy. I've done everything else, studied how to satisfy a lady, how to court, how to bring home the bacon. I have not, nor will I ever tell an affair partner that I love them more than my spouse, or that I stopped loving her years ago. That a line that she may cross and that your spouses may have crossed. I will always at least be true to myself and maintain the slightest kernel of integrity. What do you think, Reddit? Should I also clear a path for divorce and explore as amicable of a split as possible? Should I encourage her to keep working with me? We have hundreds of beautiful memories and more ahead of us, but I can share those with any number of seasoned gals out there. No. I will not disclose my affairs with the prospect of divorce looming. Though, I may cease what I'm doing and dedicate completely to her. Update. This is great. With 18 years of marriage and 3 kids, I just converted my wayward spouse to a STBX this morning. I felt odd later as she served me up one of those gaggy slobbery BJs. I think that I understood, as I really wanted to return the favor. I wanted to feel something other than turmoil for the first time in days. I wanted the same for her, but menstruation. Bummer. I didn't realize that telling a woman to pack her bags and get out was somehow arousing to her. How many divorcees here saw their marital sex increase as they got closer to Independence Day? With her bags packed and our oldest son heartbroken, we laid and she tried to please me this morning. Then I tried to please her. That's when I woke up and remembered. We grew apart. She found a more compatible partner. 19 years of trying to get an intense people pleaser to active participate in healthy sex should have taught me something. It was never about any shortcomings in me. I reject my STBX pillow princess. Update 1. I'm asking her to leave and I am starting to fill out a decree after 18 years and 3 children. She and the kids are crying a lot. Because this was precipitated by her numerous ongoing affairs that I had caught her at once previously, I am not crying nearly as much. I'm helping her pack. In order to protect the kids from the knowing about the reason she is leaving, we have agreed to be silent about the reason. I feel like my not crying as much as the rest causes me to seem emotionless, which I am not. This could be interpreted as a grudge or a reason. What do I do? Quick. Story 2. Spouse's affair partner keeps contacting us. Hello, this is my first post. My husband, 28M, confessed to me, 26F, that he had reconnected to the woman, 23F, he cheated on me with during college in our first year of dating, which was almost 5 years ago. We have been married for 2 years now. Some backstory, we were an on and off again couple in our first year, so during one of our offs they spent more time together, and ended up hooking up around the time me and him got back together. After she told me what happened, I forgave my boyfriend and told her to stay away from us. During this, she lost most of her friends, since our friend groups overlapped. I admit I did other things to get back at her, but at the time I felt it was well deserved. It took me years to stop feeling angry. She messaged me a couple of times over the years apologizing, and I finally agreed to talk so we could move on. After we talked, she promised not to bother me again. Last year, my husband mentioned that he wanted to apologize to her for what had happened, but I told him not to since I didn't see it as necessary. About 6 months ago he secretly messaged her anyways from his work phone and they started their friendship back up. A couple weeks ago he confessed what had happened. He told me he wanted them to be just friends, but she started asking for sex. He resisted, but they did flirt a few times. He cut her off because he didn't want it to go too far, and he didn't want to cheat. She messaged me from 2 different fake accounts last month saying that they had an affair that lasted a few months. She also mentioned they had sexted. I hadn't spoken to her in years, so her message was very off-putting. I blocked her again and told her to stop contacting us. When I spoke to my husband about it, he confirmed she sent nudes but he didn't send any back. His messages are wiped clean, so I'm taking his word for it. He didn't think it was a big deal at the time, but to me it's cheating. The problem is she won't stop messaging us. My husband and I are reconciling currently, but I don't believe we'll be able to move on until we know for sure she's out of our lives. She had already messaged me twice, and also my husband asking him why he blocked her on his socials. Just this week, a month after I told her to stop contacting him, she sent him a long message calling him a manipulative, a liar, the whole nine. She says this is her last message, but I don't think she'll stop. The way she spoke also makes me wonder if he's withholding information. I want to get a restraining order so she stops bothering us. My husband says it's going too far, and that he's worried it will affect his job and reputation. He supports both of us, and we've kept his recent affair secret from our friends and family. What should I do? Am I being overdramatic? Has anyone else had to deal with a relentless AP? I feel like this whole ordeal has revived trauma that I've moved past. I just want her to leave us alone so we can have peace.